Sweet pepper 62. Getting ready to plant my garlic. I'm separating them all. I'm almost done. Got a couple more heads left. What I do when I plant garlic, I break the heads apart and I take the biggest ones, the nicest ones, and I plant, and the smaller ones I pickle, because they'll dry out. If you leave them all winter, they won't last all winter. So I clean them, scrape off the covers and everything, clean them real nice, and I put them in pickle juice. Whenever I get a pickle, I'm eating, you know, when you get pickles and the pickles are all gone and you got your pickle juice in there, you can put a lot of things in there. I put garlic and I put onions and I put tomatoes, little tomatoes. I put in cucumbers, naturally, and all this little stuff. It keeps your garlic all year. You can keep it in there for a long time, because it's pickled. And then I just take it out and I put it in salads and things, and you can use it one way or another. But I planted 50 of these, to point up, about that deep, not very deep, about that deep, about that far apart. There got to be at least enough room for the roots so they don't overlap and then fight for the nutrition. So I put them about 4 inches apart, and I plant about 40 of them. About 40. I'm going to plant 50 this time. I didn't have a whole lot this year. They were kind of small. I had a lot of smaller heads. We didn't have a lot of water in the winter. This is October 10th, and I am planting them today. And I will dig them up in July, June. Be about June. When the tops will grow about this high. Then when the tops start turning yellow and falling over, that's when you dig them up. It's good to have a lot of sand in the soil, a lot of compost, because if you put it in hard soil, if you plant them in hard soil, they can't bust that soil so easy and swell it up, and you know, unless it stays pretty wet, soft. Boy, I got some really nice big cloves. Some of these I got really small ones. Some of them were real small, but they only had 3 or 4 cloves in them, but they were all nice big cloves. So it's like, okay, that's fine with me. Like this one here has only got 4. It's a pretty good sized head. Got pretty good sized cloves. I plant the big cloves is what I do. I plant the big cloves and then pickle the little ones, right? I said that already. So I'm gonna plant probably 50 this year. And if you plant 50, I think there's about 60 of them right there. These are all the smaller ones. But if you plant that many of them, usually 1 clove will make 8 more. 8 more. And I got these. These were extra. We got some from the grocery store. One year we were short on them, and there wasn't enough. I mean, we bought too many from the grocery store, and there was 2 of them big white heads like this. They were big in a box. And I said, we got too much. So I started growing them. So I took them 2 white heads and took them out of the box and broke them up like this, separated them all, and I planted them. There was 2 white heads. That was 4 years ago. And I'm still getting them. This is what I'm growing. Look at the size of that one. That's bigger than a quarter. That was 4 years ago. Now, depending on how many you want, I put them 2 heads in, and they grew about probably 2 heads was if they grow 8 apiece, there was probably 8 cloves. So I'd say if you put 2 heads in, you'll get 64. You'll get this much with 2 heads that you plant. Okay. Then if you plant those heads, you get 8 times that. Right? Plant them 8 times that. You can grow a lot of garlic in a hurry. Each year, you get about 8 times the garlic out of 1 head that you normally do. Boy, these are some nice big, really nice big. I thought they were kind of small when I was digging them up, going, they ain't very big. But boy, they got some really, really nice heads here. And you plant them in October. I'm going to plant them right now on the 10th and dig them up in the June. In June, when the things start falling over. And the way I keep them all winter, like I say, if I want to keep this all winter, they'll stay in the refrigerator for a little while, but they'll start drying up, and you'll feel them getting hollow, and then when you peel the skin off, they're real small, and they'll be shrunk. Or they'll start sprouting, which is good, because a sprouted garlic is good for you. And anyway, you can still eat them when they're sprouted. And so I'm going to plant them. I'm almost done. I got 1 more head. I'm going to plant them today. I'm going to plant 2 rows. I'll probably plant about 50. You know, probably 50, and it'll be a whole lot more. This is all of it. I got 50 heads, 43 heads back that I dug up. I don't know if I lost some or what, but I got 43, and this was 43. With 43 of these cloves, which is probably that many. I got all this back out of it with no upkeep. You plant them anywhere. Just find a spot where you can go out of the way, put them in the ground along the house, throw some leaves over them, and leave them go until June. Dig them up, and you got all kinds of garlic. These were those white ones that I found at the grocery store. I think we had, yeah. The white ones that come in a box. 2 of them in a box. And that's all. That was 3 or 4 years ago, and I haven't bought any since because I got so much of it. If I keep planting all of it, if I planted all of it, I wouldn't know what to do with it. I'd have a table full of it. Boy, that's a nice one. So, anyway, B Petro 062 reporting for how to plant garlic. Well, I told you how big, how far apart, and what time. Just find a good spot, any spot that's not in your way. In the winter, it'll grow all winter. You'll see them as soon as they'll become. When I put these in, they'll be coming up in another month. There'll be little green things coming up, and they'll start coming up all winter, and they'll be growing, and then in the spring, then they really get a lot more on them, and then they look really good, kind of like spring flowers do. And then when they start to turn brown and shrivel over, that's when it's time to dig them up. And then after I dig them up, I dig them up and I hang them by the tops. I put it all in a bag and hung it there and let it dry. Let them just sit there and dry. This is October, June, July, August, September, October. 4 months. They're fine. They've been outside hanging, and now this is what time I'm doing this. So anyway, that's all I got for my garlic. I hope you try it, man. I think it's so easy to do. It's so good for you. It's such a good, healthy food. And they're great pickled. If you put them in pickle juice, I put them in a lot of stuff. So, anyway, I got my coffee with me. And I'm sitting out here on a wonderful morning talking to everybody. Doing this. Me and you. From Channel 62.